All right, good afternoon. This is Lynx. I have another question that was posted in, actually this was in my group, my Facebook group, one of my Facebook groups, Wild Ask Cartomancy. And someone had asked me about runes, specifically that he was having a difficult time, or that his number one challenge, because I'm doing some videos right now, helping people to address their main concern, pain, challenge in reading. And this was in relation to runes. So I've got my rune set here that I made years ago. So the question was how the difficulty or the challenge or the pain is being able to get the rune to fit in the modern context. So I'm going to say a couple of things about that and then see if these help, because other people may be facing this challenge too, that maybe you're using a oracle and the challenge is to put it in a modern context. Now I know that those of you who read Lenormand, sometimes there's things that happen in the context of society from when the society that this emerged from, and maybe it doesn't necessarily translate, or that those of us who've read Lenormand found that there's certain things like, for example, the garden and the star might indicate social media, which was something that wasn't around at the time that Lenormand was originally used. So what I'm going to suggest first is make sure that you're solving the right problem. Is this the right oracle for you? If you're having a challenge, putting it in the modern context, is it the right oracle to be using when you're reading for someone else or reading for yourself? If the challenge is that you're not finding how it fits with the current context, maybe there's a disconnect between you and the oracle. Try another oracle and see if that clears things up. Meanwhile, while you're trying to work on learning this oracle, this other oracle, I'm going to suggest something specifically for runes here to see if it helps. Runes are a language, so read it as though it's a language with a subject, verb, object, as such. So I've got a couple laid out here as an example. So for example, we've got Hegel here. Let's say that we did a 3 rune throw. Now I know you can cast them and you can look at how they're all read, but start slow, start small, especially when trying to figure out how something fits in the right context. Get the language down, understand the language, develop the language between you and the oracle. Look at the oracle as though it's trying to tell you something through a language. So you've got Hegel, and then you've got Kines, right? And then we've got Awaz, or Avaz. Okay, so the sentence is, this makes a sentence, okay, and I threw this all out and I wrote notes just so I stayed focused on this. Subconscious storm reveals light and illuminates a situation where you will become stronger and the things that you're working through will become more dependable, or you will become more dependable. So this is a hailstorm, but in this particular case, it indicates a subconscious turmoil for the individual that you're reading, okay? And then after the storm there is sun, and then after the sun there is strength. So you could suggest that a strong storm comes in, battering down or destroying because it's hail, or destroying what needs to be destroyed. Light, or this comes to light, or what happens afterwards, illuminate, warms, and then creates a stronger result than had happened before the hailstorm. Now, if you think about this in terms of a sentence and in terms of language, think about it in terms of how you have to put it in the context of nature. Our minds mirror nature, and we are very much connected to nature. So after a time of turmoil, light comes out and there is strength. Okay? So read it like a sentence that way. See if it fits into the situation. Move forward from there. Don't focus too much on it. Don't spend too much time belaboring it. So now I got another one. I got 4 runes laid out. In the next one, we've got Pertho, and then Nafu. I always have a hard time pronouncing these. Excuse me, I'm butchering them. Uruz, and then Ingbaz. Okay, so this, some say, is the dice cup. I do notice that this one comes up for fortune or change of fortune. So this would seem to suggest, these two together would seem to suggest fortune delayed, or a delay in fortune. And then this one is a test, usually comes up for a test, that ends up creating greater freedom. So what appears to be a delay in fortune is actually creating the circumstances, the test, the strengthening, where the individual actually ends up unencumbered when they come out of this, and the strings that were holding him or her back break free from this delay. So this is an opportunity here to create a diamond, or to create a stronger situation where an individual is more free, less encumbered by their own limitations. So you can look at it as though, okay, so maybe this was a test of a manhood, a test of manhood or womanhood, or coming into your own. But you just look at it as a sentence, and then it becomes almost like you would when you're reading cards or any other oracle, when you're putting these things together. Look at the combinations and see what they mean. So this delay of luck, or what appears to be a delay of luck, is really a test that enables you to become more free should you take advantage of that situation. When you're reading these, pay attention. Now this is where your clairvoyance has to come in, your clairaudience, your clairsentience, or your other intuitive abilities, your psychic abilities, because that's really what this is about. You have to actually, while you're reading the other person, find out what's coming to mind. Are there images, pictures, sounds, things that are coming to mind that will help you put in this to a greater context with that person? So you might say, you might feel like, okay, there's a delay, there's a relationship delay, or maybe they ask about it. I have a relationship question. There seems to be a delay in this relationship, or something is put on hold in this relationship. What seems like a delay in fortune is actually a test that's going to make you more free together in the long run. Okay, so that's how you do it. And then the other thing that I'm going to suggest doing in these cases is when something comes up in your life, if you want to learn what fits in what context, take your runes, put them in your bag, and you say, okay, let's say someone's coming up with a dietary issue or something like that. Go, okay, what rune represents this? Okay, and so here we've got. So this is how you do it, and then you watch and see if that one comes up again in the future in relation to that situation, or you watch to see how this one comes up in relation to that situation. And that's how you do it. You do your best to pull the rune in the situation, see if that gives you a modern context for it. Now, next time you might say, hey, I'm seeing a dietary issue coming up with this person's health. So watch it just like you would, or just like I've suggested doing with the cards. Pull a card in the situation. See which one represents that situation. Go to the end of the day. At the end of the day, pull 3 runes. You got 3 runes. Okay, so legacy, and then you got your son, and then you got your So and then see at the end of the day, it's like what was the day about? What was the day all about? And then you can look back over your day, you can reflect on it, and you can say, okay, I see how does the traditional meaning of these runes fit into what happened today, and then you'll get your modern context, or you'll get it in a context that actually helps you in a dynamic way as you work with them to learn how to adjust the meanings to fit the modern context. I'm Lucky Links. I hope this helps. If you have any more questions about it, go ahead, put them in the thing below, and I'll do my best to, as always, answer them. And if you have more rune questions, I feel free. I haven't read them in a long time. I used to read them all the time, but I haven't read them in a long time. This was my set that I made. But they are a language, they do read as a language, and there are several other layers to them as well. That's for another day and another video. Wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If there's a pain, a challenge, or a obstacle that you face in your reading, whether you're a beginner, whether you're advanced, go ahead, put it in the thing below, and I'll do my best to see if I can come up with a solution or a process or something that you can do to help make your challenges as a reader easier. If you want to get a reading from me, go ahead and text me 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com, or join one of my Facebook groups such as Wild Ass Cartomancy, or Psychic Power, the spooky stuff, or the Mexican Lottery of Magic, or I have another one out there too somewhere. I think I have 4. So, and then we can chat that way. Talking to you soon. A good success and good fortune in all that you do.